You already know the answer to the question you keep asking, the decision you keep avoiding, the situation you keep overthinking. Somewhere inside you, you already know, but you've been taught not to trust it. You were told to be logical, to get more data, to ask everyone else what they think, until the quiet voice that knew all along went silent. That voice is your intuition. And here's what science is now proving. It was rarely wrong. You just stopped listening. And by the end of this video, you'll know the exact difference between the voice of your intuition and the voice of your fear. Because almost everyone confuses the two, and it's the reason they keep making the wrong choice. But first, you need to understand how you lost the signal in the first place and why it was never truly gone. You were born with it. As a child, you felt everything. You knew who was safe and who wasn't. You knew when something was off long before you had words for it. Your intuition was loud, natural, and trusted. And this isn't only spiritual language, it's biology. Over a century ago, a neuroscientist named Charles Sherrington gave it a name: interoception, the body's ability to sense its own inner state, your heartbeat, your breath, the subtle signals rising from within. Scientists today call it our hidden sixth sense. You were fluent in that sense as a child, and then the world began to train it out of you. Don't be silly. Stop being so sensitive. That's not logical. What will people think? Slowly, you learned to override the inner signal with outer rules, to look outside for answers that were always inside. And the quieter you treated that voice, the fainter it became, not because it left, but because it learned you weren't listening. But here's what's fascinating and what the research reveals. Your intuition never actually disappears. It just changes how it speaks to you. It starts communicating through your body in a measurable, physical way that you experience every single day without realizing what it is. And once you learn to read it, you get the signal back. Your intuition doesn't shout, it whispers, and it whispers through sensation. It's the tightness in your chest when you say yes to something you should have refused. The pit in your stomach before a decision you know isn't right. The lightness, the quiet yes you feel when something is aligned. And this has a name in neuroscience. The renowned neuroscientist Antonio Damasio called them somatic markers. His discovery was profound. Your body tags experiences with physical feelings, and those feelings guide your decisions before your logical mind can even catch up. Let me tell you about the experiment that proved it. It's called the Iowa gambling task. Participants drew cards from different decks, some rigged to win, some rigged to lose. And here's the staggering part. Slow. Long before people could explain which decks were dangerous, their bodies already knew. Researchers measured tiny stress responses in their skin, and those responses started firing as a warning whenever a person reached toward a bad deck before they were consciously aware it was bad at all. The body sounded the alarm first. The mind caught up later. Think about what that means. Your gut isn't being dramatic. It isn't being irrational. It's running calculations your conscious mind hasn't finished yet, and it's reporting the answer through feeling. That's why you so often had a feeling about someone, ignored it, and watched it come true. Your body had already done the math, but this is exactly where people get trapped, because there's another voice in your body that feels almost identical to intuition, and it sends its signals through the very same channels. If you can't tell them apart, you'll mistake one for the other every time. That's the distinction I promised you. Here it is, the difference between intuition and fear. Fear is loud, intuition is quiet. Fear shouts, races, and floods you with worst-case scenarios. Intuition simply knows calmly, quietly, without needing to convince you. Fear shouts, intuition whispers. Fear lives in the future, intuition lives in the present. Fear asks, but what if it all goes wrong? Intuition speaks only in the now. This is right, this isn't. And the deepest difference, fear contracts you, intuition expands you. When you imagine following your intuition even when it's scary, there's an underlying sense of rightness, of peace, of opening up. When it's fear, there's only tightening, dread, and the urge to run or control. Now, here's where science adds a crucial layer of honesty. Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman spent his career studying the fast, automatic mind he called System 1, the source of intuition. And alongside researcher Gary Klein, he found something important. Intuition is most trustworthy in the areas where you have real, lived experience. As Klein put it, intuition can feel almost magical, but it isn't magic at all. It's your mind recognizing patterns from everything you've ever lived through, faster than thought. So the more honest, emotional truth is this: your intuition grows clearer and more reliable the more you know yourself, and that's something you can rebuild. But knowing the difference isn't enough, because there's a reason your fear has grown so loud and your intuition so faint. There's one daily habit that almost everyone has that drowns out the inner voice completely, and until you address it, the whisper simply can't get through. The habit is this: constant noise. We never let ourselves be still. The moment silence appears, we reach for the phone. We fill every gap with scrolling, sound, opinions, distraction. And here's the problem. In the language of science, intuition speaks through interoception, the quiet sensing of your inner signals. And those signals are subtle. They cannot be heard over noise. Think about where your clearest insights actually come from. The shower, a walk in nature, that drifting moment just before sleep. Never in the noise, always in the stillness. Because stillness is the only time the signal can rise to the surface and be felt. And there's encouraging news here. Researchers have found that interoception, your ability to read your own body, isn't fixed. It can be dulled by stress, distraction, and disconnection from the body, but it can also be strengthened, trained, restored. The signal isn't broken, it's just buried. Your intuition isn't gone, it's underneath the notifications, the busyness, the endless input of everyone else's voices. The work was never to create intuition. It's to get quiet enough to hear the one that's already there. And once you start hearing it again, you'll face the real test. Because hearing your intuition is one thing. Trusting it, especially when it tells you something your logical mind or the people around you don't want to hear, that's where everything changes. Here's how you rebuild that trust, step by step. You rebuild trust the same way you'd rebuild it with a person you'd ignored for years. Slowly, with small promises kept. First, reconnect with the body. Since intuition speaks through physical sensation, you have to come back into the body to hear it. A few slow breaths, a hand on the heart, a moment of stillness where you simply notice what you feel. This is interoception training, and science shows it genuinely sharpens your ability to read your inner signals. Second, start small. Practice on low-stakes choices. What do you actually feel like eating? Which way do you want to walk? Which option feels lighter in your body? Follow the quiet pull and watch what happens. Third, keep evidence. When you get a gut feeling, write it down. Later, check back. You'll be stunned how often that quiet knowing was right, and how often the loud fear was wrong. This is exactly what the researchers found. Intuition earns trust through a track record. You're building yours. And here's the deeper truth that bridges the science and the soul. Every time you honor your intuition, you're not only making a better decision, you're sending a message to yourself. My inner voice matters. I am worth listening to. And that, more than anything, is what brings the voice back to full strength. Self-trust and intuition grow together. But as your intuition grows stronger, something bigger begins to happen. It stops only guiding your small decisions and begins pointing towards something much larger. A direction, a pull, a sense that it has been trying to lead you somewhere this whole time. And where it's leading you is the most important part of all. Your intuition was never just about small choices. It's a compass, and it has always been pointing toward your truest path. Remember what Gary Klein discovered. Intuition is the sum of everything you've ever experienced, distilled into a feeling. So, that recurring pull you feel towards something, the dream you can't shake, the quiet "this isn't it" about the life you're living, and the equally quiet this is it when you imagine something more aligned that's not random. That's the deepest part of you, synthesizing your entire life and pointing the way home. The people who live the most fulfilling lives are rarely the most coldly logical. They're the ones who learned to trust the pull, who followed the quiet knowing even when it didn't yet make sense on paper. Because your intuition doesn't only know what to choose for lunch on the deepest level, it knows who you're meant to become. Your intuition knows who you're meant to become. When you reconnect to it, you're no longer just making better decisions. You're being guided back towards your purpose, which raises the most important question of all. If your intuition has been trying to lead you somewhere this entire time, where exactly is it pointing? What is it you're actually here to do? That's where this journey goes next. Reconnecting to your intuition isn't about gaining some mystical new power. It's about returning to something you were born with, something neuroscience now confirms is woven into your very body, that the world simply taught you to silence. The quiet voice, the gut feeling, the calm, expansive yes. Your body has been speaking this language your whole life, sounding the alarm before you knew the danger, lighting the way before you understood the path. And the more you trust it, the clearer it becomes, until one day you realize you're no longer lost, you're being guided. You already know the answer, you always did. Drop beneath the fear and hear your intuition clearly again, perhaps for the first time in years. But remember what your intuition has been doing this entire time. It hasn't only been guiding your choices, it's been pointing towards something larger, a direction, a reason, a purpose. You came here to live. That quiet pull you feel toward a life that's more meaningful, more aligned, more you. That is the most important signal of all. The question is, what is it actually trying to show you? That's exactly what we explore next. Your intuition has been leading you somewhere your whole life. All that's left is to follow it